So a second item that you don't have at home today is your Love That Dog book. Some of you have access to Learning Ally or Sora. However, I thought that I would read to you the pages that you're going to be responsible for today so that you can sum them up. So first I'm going to read pages 49 to 52. When we last left off, Jack had been talking about how much he loved the poem Love That Boy by Walter Dean Myers, and had opened up a little bit more about his dog named Sky, his yellow dog. So here we are on pages 49 to 52. March 27th. Yes, you can type up what I wrote about my dog Sky, but don't type up that other secret one I wrote, the one all folded up in the envelope with tape on it. That one uses too many of Mr. Walter Dean Myers' words, and maybe Mr. Walter Dean Myers would get mad about that. I was very glad to hear that Mr. Walter Dean Myers is not the sort of person who would get mad at a boy for using some of his words. And thank you for typing up my secret poem, the one that uses so many of Mr. Walter Dean Myers' words. And I like what you put at the top. Inspired by Walter Dean Myers. That sounds good to my ears. Now no one will think I just copied because I couldn't think of my own words. They will know I was inspired by Mr. Walter Dean Myers. But don't put it on the board yet, okay? Is Mr. Walter Dean Myers a live person? I can't see what it says there. Hold on a second. I don't know, something about, do you think he could ever come to our city, to our school, to our class? And if he did, should we hide my poem with his words? Hide it real good, just in case he would get mad about that? All right, so that's pages 49 through 52. Instead of doing anecdotal notes in your book, what I'd like you to do is go to Seesaw, take a pause, or on a piece of paper, write down any questions you have about that section or thoughts. I think anything you put down about this idea of being inspired by someone would be really telling. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the next little section you're responsible for today, which is pages 53 to 59. April 9th. No, 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 no. I can't do it. You should do it. You're a teacher. April 12th. I don't agree that Mr. Walter Dean Myers might like to hear from a boy who likes his poems. I think Mr. Walter Dean Myers would like to hear from a teacher who uses big words and knows how to spell and to type. But here we go, April 17th. Dear Mr. Walter Dean Myers, you probably don't want to hear from me because I am only a boy and not a teacher, and I don't use big words, and you probably won't read this. Or even if you do read it, you probably are way too busy to answer it, let alone do the thing I am going to ask you. And I want you to know that's okay, because our teacher says writers are very, 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 very busy. Trying to write their words, and the phone is ringing, and the fax is going, and the bills need paying, and sometimes they get sick. I hope you are not sick, Mr. Walter Dean Myers. Or their family gets sick, or the electricity goes off, or the car needs fixing, or they have to go to the grocery store or do the laundry or clean up messes. I don't know how you find the time to write your words if you have to do all that stuff, and maybe you should get a helper. So what I'm asking you is this. If you ever get time to leave your house, and if you ever feel like visiting a school where there might be some kids who like your poems, would you ever maybe think about maybe coming maybe to our school, which is a clean place with mostly nice people in it. And I think our teacher, Miss Stretchberry, would maybe even make brownies for you because she sometimes makes them for us. I hope I haven't too much stopped you from doing your writing of words and fixing your car and getting groceries and all that stuff, just to read this letter, which probably is taking you maybe 15 minutes. And in that time, you could have maybe written a whole new poem, or at least the start of one. And so I am sorry for taking up your time. And I understand if you can't come to our clean school and read some of your poems to us. And let us see your face, which I bet is a friendly face. My name is Jack. Bye, Mr. Walter Dean Myers. I really loved that. Jack's voice is just so sweet. And he obviously loves Walter Dean Myers very much. He really admires him. So I want you to think about that second set of writing that I read you from pages 53 to 59, and think about what you noticed or what questions you have or any connections. And you're going to put those also in Seesaw. Then you're going to go on to the chart and you're going to tell me what happened in both of those sections. You can always go back to my video if you need to. I know it's a little harder to listen as a reader instead of having the book in front of you. And then you're going to tell me how Jack felt and how you knew. The how you knew part is going to be a little trickier. You could always pause my video on certain pages so you could copy down the words if you wanted to use a quote, or you could just paraphrase in your own way to tell what was happening. Good luck, and I look forward to discussing this with you tomorrow.